Hello Virgo, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus signs. Welcome to your tarot reading here at the Intuitive Teacup. I am happy to have you all out there. As per usual, please come into this tarot reading with an open heart and an open mind, a desire to maybe learn something and better yourself, better your situation. If the messages that come through do not resonate for you, that's completely fine. Please do push them aside. Maybe assume they're going out to someone else this week. Be open to the fact that they might just resonate for you at a later time or date. And always best to trust your own intuition above all else. Your intuition will be able to separate what messages are meant for you and what is not. That's important to discern that because this is a general message. It's a general reading for the collective out there who resonate strongly with Virgo. And also because ultimately you're accountable and responsible for all your own actions and decisions. All right, guys, that's my disclaimer. I got to do it. But that being said, let's set the intention now to get my Virgos out there watching. Some clear, helpful, insightful messages for wherever they are currently at on their spiritual path. All right, let's try and have some fun, Virgo, get you some helpful messages. So in the center of your spread, there's a fun little message. You have the best, in my bias, you have the happiest card in tarot. You have the Ten of Cups. This is the fairy tale ending. This is about fulfillment, things that make you feel elated. It's very, emotionally driven, but it's feeling like all is right in the world and then some. From the Nine of Cups, which is about the ability to soothe oneself and find your own avenues of happiness and joy as an individual. This is about a merging of multiple people who are able to do that for themselves, and it makes them like power couple energy, whether that's a romantic relationship or a friendship or a partnership of any kind, work related. It's about people coming together and sharing their joy and sharing their passion for life with one another. Frequently it is a card of family. So maybe some of you are starting a family. So maybe some of you are spending time with your own family. Maybe some of you are getting hitched or getting married or thinking about having children. So you're coming from a place in your past of the Two of Pentacles, which can kind of be an indecisive energy, right? It's like we're trying to find the balance and we're weighing things out. We're trying to decide this way or that way, left or right. And sometimes with the infinity loop, sometimes there's a message of, can we merge it? Can we do it together? Rather than having to separate these different aspects of our life, maybe this is about moving in together. The ultimate goal here is the world. So yeah, this is like ascension and some powerful, I want to say relationship, but powerful narrative and storyline in your life, feeling like you've ascended, like you're able to see the greater understanding behind everything that you've gone through. With the world, it does indicate Saturn energy, and Saturn is the great tester. It's the great timekeeper. Virgos, I think, are all too familiar with Saturn energy, right? Because it is the planet of seriousness and work ethic and the absolute necessity of sort of hunkering down and being loyal and dedicated and devoted to something for the long term, knowing that you'll see the results. But with Saturn, it's like we have to work for the rewards. Nothing is handed to us. Virgos tend to have a very strong work ethic, but it was funny, I was about to say outlook, accidentally. So I feel like that word wanted to come out. But for some of you, there's almost a release from struggle. Maybe you've been fighting some sort of Saturnian battle in your life where, I don't know, it's like you're starting to see the happily ever after or the return on your investment, your time, your energies, the reward, the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. But you're able to better understand something in a way that you couldn't before. So what are you thinking? Conflicted. There's some conflicted energy. This can be a card of drama or just, quite frankly, it's like a lot going on at once. Sometimes it's a card of too many cooks in the kitchen. Sometimes it is, with these two cards, it's almost like feeling like you need to be considerate of everybody, but there's a lot of people in your life, and it's kind of like you can only do so much without, burning the candle at both ends, without depleting your own health or energy. Health is always going to be a very important narrative and storyline in the Virgo readings. It comes up literally all the time. And the World card to me is very much a card about being aware of our physical body here on Earth. Like, yes, it's about our mind, our emotions, our soul, but also our body. Your body is your temple. So for some of you, there's a new focus on that, or a reinvigorated focus. And maybe looking in your recent past of where, again, you've been overdoing it or just not respecting your own bodily limits in some capacity. I do kind of see a narrative of pregnancy or starting a family. The World card can represent the womb. So maybe some of you are conflicted about, or maybe conflicted isn't the right word. Weighing out, maybe the time, like, is this a good time to step away from work? Or, I'm not saying this is going to be true for all of you. And there's a couple things coming through. I'm like being bombarded with messages here. Keep in mind, pregnancy can also be a metaphor. So for those who are male and literally cannot conceive a child in their own body, maybe this has to do with your partner. But others of you, maybe your quote unquote baby here is some sort of thing you are birthing into the world that is like a creative project, right? So again, metaphors, symbols, archetypes. That's how tarot speaks to us. So be open-minded. For some of you, this is not the majority, there could have been unexpected pregnancy, in which case maybe there is sort of a weighing of, okay, how is this going to change our lives? Are we up for this challenge? Are we, what are some possible routes or paths or solutions? Or, how are we going to deal with this news of something that is bringing a little bit more drama into our life, but not always drama in the bad sense. It's shaking things up and things are getting busier. It's requiring a little bit more energy. But if you're already giving all your energy to something, then it's like, well, where can we reallocate this, or where can we pull it back, or where can we make better use of it? So emotionally, where are you at? So this is actually kind of a nice card to show up in the emotions. It's almost like a little bit detached, because I think for some of you, there is something about the storyline. There's a realization that you can only control what you can control. That's a big Saturn word too. And so I don't think you're getting emotionally bent out of shape about it, but there is something agitating. These are actually very like conflicting energies in terms of like the narrative that it's telling me here, because mentally it's very fiery, it's very feisty, it's very go, go, go. But for some of you, I don't think it's drama in the bad sense of people fighting or chaos. It's just there's a lot going on, and maybe you're excited, and it could be like an enthusiastic energy, because emotionally this is a very calming card. So if you're not feeling calm, then maybe that's what your advice or guidance here is. But yeah, I mean, generally speaking, the Four of Swords is about mental rest. It's an excellent card of meditation, taking care of your mental health and mental wellness, but also like getting good sleep at night and leaning into gratitude as well. Especially after a period of healing. But yeah, emotionally, you actually seem to be kind of balanced and sort of like this acceptance of, there's certain things I can't control here, so I have to release it and sort of like give it to God or give it to the universe, put my faith in something higher, that even if I don't know how everything is going to turn out, or I don't know all the answers yet, it's almost like I know that the solutions will come. I just have to kind of, move through the chaos with grace. Which is actually like a lovely, lovely energy. All right, so what is supporting you at this time? Your friends, your family, your coworkers, your posse, your clan, your tribe, possibly some recent success or accomplishments. This is an excellent card of celebration and hanging out with your tribe. So maybe this is just taking some time out to hang out with your people, right? To connect with those you love most, who help feed your soul and feed your emotions. Particularly something about a water sign friend might be coming through, Scorpio, Cancer, Pisces, or even possibly something. There's a lot of cards of motherhood here. So there might be an important narrative that is supporting you in a positive way regarding your own mother, your relationship with your mother, or possibly if you're embarking on a journey of motherhood in any way. And again, if it's not literally having children, it's the idea of becoming sort of the person who tends to something they care for and, nurture something in order to get it to grow and be abundant and thrive. And it's like putting a little piece of you out into the world, right? I'm sort of seeing like the Eight of Pentacles card, which is a Virgo card anyway. It's Sun in Virgo, and it's like identifying with the work you do. When you put it out for the world to see, it's a reflection of who you are and sort of what's going on internally and in an outward expression. So for some of you, there's a lot of like creative energy right now, and for some of you, it's just literally kicking back with your friends and having a good time. Something about that is very beneficial, and I will say, in this position, immediately available. All you have to do is pick up the phone and be like, hey, let's meet up. Your friends will show up for you, grabbing coffee, going, whatever it is, going to the movies, Netflix and chill, whatever it is you do with your friends, that's supporting you. And for some of you, it's drawing healthier boundaries with either parental figure, if that is a source of agitation or irritation. You don't pick and choose your family. You do sort of have to shape and mold the way you choose to show up in those relationships and how you choose to work with them, because sometimes or oftentimes there are responsibilities there. There is sort of an unspoken what is a good word for it? Expectation, unspoken expectation, like, hey, like, you're going to show up because, I raised you, I birthed you. So with that, you might be understanding, just healthier boundaries with family if that has been a challenge for you. And again, this kind of like cool detachment. And I want to be clear, it's not void of emotions. It's not from a place of cruelty or coldness. It's for a place of what is best supporting your mental health. And like, I think when you do that, it's like, oh, this feels so much better. It's liberating. There's a freedom here with the World card. It's like we've overcome this monster or this demon or slayed the dragon, however you want to say it. There's something about coming out on top and feeling like I put a lot of work into that, but you know what? It was worth it because I feel incredible now. More focus on your body too. Maybe you're working out more, or maybe the opposite. If you were overdoing it, maybe you're pulling back and just simply resting, right? So something that you could be doing that you're not, an action or advice card. What an interesting card to show up in action or advice. The Five of Swords. But you know what? I think, again, this is Venus in Aquarius. So very frequently when I get this card, it does speak about cool detachment, right? This card shows up a lot of times in sort of like cross-watcher readings of like what's going on with my person. And here's why. There's a point to this. A lot of times when you're like, I think I like this person, but they're giving me mixed signals, yada, 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 you're trying to figure out what's the vibe there. This card will show up because it's saying this person still like thinks about you, right? I feel like I'm speaking to someone who needs to hear this, so bear with me, guys. This person is looking back. There might be some sense of regret of shoulda, coulda, wouldas in terms of how they acted or how they responded or what they said. But they're not void of emotions because it's a Venus card. They are thinking about this connection. But with that, there's clouds overhead. So the way they sometimes express their emotions or lack thereof, or the way they show up in relationships, there's something about a need to have a little bit of independence and detachment where they don't feel suffocated by this Venus energy. This person quite literally has red hair, and to me it's like that's almost symbolic of like they probably have a very strong Mars, that independence separating, whether they're male or female or whatever. There's something a little bit more masculine about their energy where they don't want to necessarily compromise their individuality in their life in order to be in this relationship, but they also recognize that you're asking them to show up in a better or a different way. And I think there's sort of like this conflicted energy of, am I able to do that? Do I want to do that? And like, what will I have to sacrifice in order to do that? Is it worth it? Do I love this person in the way that they love me? Or is my detachment a sign that I'm just not feeling it, even though I was hoping it was the one, right? It's a complicated card. And you do have two fives. Fives are about, change and chaos and those sorts of things, which breed growth and evolution. And it's a good thing, but when you're in a five, it's not always comfortable. What's interesting is that's your action or advice or guidance. And for a lot of you, you have a really beautiful love story or a really beautiful narrative coming through your reading here this week of really wonderful and amazing people showing up in your life. Now, that doesn't mean every single person in your life is showing up with that energy this week, because if this is your advice or guidance, it does speak to me that maybe some cool detachment is what's needed. And we did mention something about parental or family dynamics, where if it's stifling, if you often feel criticized or bullied or pushed aside or unseen in some sort of family dynamic, you might be like, you know what, like, boundaries. Like, I can still love you, but sometimes I have to love you from afar, or I have to love you in short increments of time, because that is what best supports my mental health. And I like that, because it's sort of going in with this idea of like knowing you can't change people, you can change how you react and respond to their own energies. That's why I think this is coming up, is because that word detachment is actually benefiting you this week. And for some of you, that whole spiel I went on about, the ex and the lovers and the this and the that, I'm sure that came up for a reason. But what's really interesting is 10 of Cups is center of your spread this week. So like, you're not feeling too bad. And again, with this coming through emotionally, I think some of you are maybe healing from a loss or some sort of grievance, but you're on the up and up. Like you like, the hardest part is already over. You might just be kind of tying up loose ends, and maybe that has to do with the Mercury retrograde, right? Just be careful though, because with Mercury retrograde, sometimes those exes that made us feel some type of way, suddenly find themselves back in our lives, and then maybe this happens again. So like, I'm just saying there is the potential for that to happen. And again, it's not cool detachment in terms of I'm playing hard to get or I'm playing games. It's from a place of self-respect and knowing your limits in terms of what you're willing to give to another energy, especially if they're not meeting you halfway, right? Yeah, this is such a beautiful energy for you, Virgo. I absolutely love it. So this essentially is helping to assist us get to the World card. Two very strong cards of liberation and cutting your own path. Viewing the world through the lens of optimism and positivity, and that, you know, good things are always immediately available to you if you choose to see the world that way. Yes, lovely, lovely energy. I really like that. There could be an Aquarius coming into your life, or an Aries potentially. Which is very interesting, because those are signs that are I guess the word is quincunx in astrology. It's like your opposites attract energy. Virgo, right, is Pisces, and the two signs next to Pisces are kind of like that, awkward but also fascinating, because in theory, like astrologically, you guys have nothing in common. Like Virgo is like earthy, feminine, mutable, and right, Aries is like masculine, cardinal, fire, and then Aquarius is like fixed, air, masculine. So like, I'm not saying you can't have amazing connections with those people, but there's something, it's almost like all the more intriguing because of their differentness, if that makes sense. There's a lot of like karmic relationships that happen with those signs. So, and maybe that's what you were dealing with at the time. If what I said just spoke to you, there might be a reason for that. So I don't know why this is coming through, and like I'm not laughing because of what I'm saying. It's just, it's so random. There's some narrative coming through here about like your gay best friend. And so I don't know if like they're coming to help cheer you up, or vice versa. You're coming to their aid because they're going through a tough time. And like, I don't know why it's being relayed so specifically to me, but it's like your gay best friend. That's coming through super strong with the Fool card right now. And I don't really know. I guess I'm opening that up to your interpretation, but it's like, why is that coming through? Do you know who that is? Because if not, maybe you're going to have a new best friend. I don't know. Let's see. So this oracle card says break free. You're being asked to break free from the tribe in order to live your authentic life. This isn't easy, but very necessary if you're going to share your true self with others. Be brave, be real, be you, and trust that those who love you will always be there for you. Freddie Mercury vibes. I want to break free. Go listen to that song. There's something in there for you, Virgo. And I'm gonna put that next to your gay best friend card. I just love that. I love that that's coming through, and I don't really know why, but I think it's definitely a positive message. It's just not quite clear to me, but I don't know. Maybe the name Freddie is significant. Who knows? All right, guys, that's what I got for you this week. Thanks for tuning in. Please like, share, subscribe, leave a comment. Find me on Instagram and Facebook. I'm the Intuitive Teacup, and I will see you soon for more tarot. Bye, guys.